With only 10 days until the NFL draft, the Philadelphia Eagles continue to make moves, adding a new member to their staff. Also, today I want to talk about 3 teams I think the Eagles can call on up on draft night if they want to move down from that 10 spot. So, let's talk about it.
You want Philly?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
What's going on, you guys? It's your boy Joe Castro, aka Philly Fresco, and it is Philly the podcast. So today, I want to talk about the new staff member added to the Eagles, and I also want to talk about 3 teams that I think the Eagles can go ahead and trade down with if they want to move from that 10 spot. But before we get into all that, be sure to hit that like, subscribe, join the family. We are on the road to 10K, and we would love for you guys to join that ride. Now, let's get right into it. This video has taken me far too long to actually record. I'm just going to let you know that I've recorded it for like 4 times already, so hopefully this is the one. So we're going to start with the new staff member, Mike D'Angelo, all right? Coming on over from Jackson State. He used to coach wide receivers and tight ends over on Jackson State, and now he's coming to the Eagles in a defensive quality role. So he's going to be overseeing the defense, probably kind of like an assistant type role. Maybe it grows into something down the line. Maybe this turns into a cornerback secondary. I don't really know what it could turn into. You would assume you're coming from working with tight ends, you're working with wide receivers. Maybe that can translate defensively to your cornerbacks, to your secondary, maybe to your linebackers. So it'll be interesting to see what we use him for and in what capacity he actually has with this team. Is he going to be a big part of this coaching staff? I mean, I'm still waiting to hear a secondary coach being hired. I mean, if I've missed it, please let me know in the comments, because I've definitely been looking, but I have not heard yet a secondary coach being hired. Maybe this is kind of a way of getting a guy in here that can help Desai, because I know Desai used to work with that secondary. Maybe this is just kind of a loophole. Hey, we got somebody, but I'm going to be looking over him. We'll see what happens there. But now I want to get into the fun part of this show, and I want to talk about 3 possible trades, okay? And look, the Eagles fans and Eagles brass, I'm sure they want to trade back. I know a lot of Eagles fans feel like there's a lot of value trading back in this draft, getting more picks for this year, next year. So I want to bring up 3 teams that I would love for them to give us a call. All right. Now, the first team I want to talk about is not going to be that far of a move back, and this is kind of pending a situation, right? So the New York Jets obviously do not trust Zach Wilson. I mean, they obviously want to upgrade that position. And if a quarterback is to fall to number 10, whether it be Richardson, whether it be Levi's, it will be interesting to see if the Jets really just want to get another franchise guy, or if they just wanted to get Aaron Rodgers. Now, obviously, this is pending the situation with Aaron Rodgers. Things are starting to get a little bit more tumultuous. I don't know the word. I just made up a word. That's for y'all. But it's getting crazy, right? It seems like they're just being hard-headed on the Packers side. They don't want to give in, which good for them. I mean, if you're going to have to rebuild anyways, why give up one of your best assets, if not your best asset, for nothing, right? You're not going to do that. So I know that the last thing that I read was that they haven't talked for a couple of weeks. The last thing I saw as far as trades talks was that the Jets just didn't want to give up a first-round pick, and obviously the Packers are looking for multiple first-round picks. So it feels like they're pretty far apart. We'll see what happens there. But if the Jets want to move on up to 10, jump a team like the Tennessee Titans, jump maybe a team like the Texans, who maybe in the earlier pick didn't go quarterback. I doubt that they do that, but maybe they want to jump one of those 2 teams and say, all right, let's get to the Eagles spot and let's go ahead and get us a quarterback that we feel comfortable with moving down the line. Now, as far as value, probably not going to get too much. Maybe like a day 2 pick, like at the most, I'm thinking you're getting like a second and then a mid-round pick, maybe a mid-round pick next year included in that. I don't think you're going to get too much. Like, you know, some of these other ones you might get a little bit more. Now, I would not be mad at that. The Jets are looking good. I'm going to be 100% honest. The Jets are looking good. They're looking a lot better. They have built a good team. Obviously, getting Sauce Gardner last year, he balled the heck out. But they are building a good team, and I feel like they're a quarterback away. So we could be the team that they call on up and say, hey, let's get to 10. Let's take our guy Levi's. Even though I don't think Levi's is that good. But either way, don't tell them I said that. He's great, all right? If he's there, you trade on up and you grab him. So that's going to be one of them. And that's going to be kind of a theme along this. It's going to be a theme. If a quarterback drops, I think we'll get the best value. Now, the next team that I'm thinking about is the Packers. Again, this is pending the situation with Aaron Rodgers. I don't know what they're going to do, even if they do have Aaron Rodgers. Will they sit him? Will they bench him? Will they just say, hey, we don't care. It is what it is. You just sit over there. We're going to still try and rebuild. It kind of feels like they would do that, but I don't know. I really don't know, obviously. So if Aaron Rodgers is to be traded, right, the Jets probably won't need to move up, right? They probably won't have that number 13 pick. So it could be the Packers saying, hey, let's give you our 13 pick. But as of right now, the Packers stand at number 15. If they are looking for a franchise quarterback and they feel like that whoever drops to number 10 is that guy, I could see them giving us a call. I could see them giving us a call saying, hey, what do you need for us to move up? And what do I need if I'm moving down to the 15, especially since it's Tampa? We got to talk about your first round pick next year. That's really what I want. And I've said this all season. I mean, not Tampa, excuse me, Packers. I've said this all off season. If Aaron Rodgers is not there next year and they are rebuilding like it seems like they are, I want your first round pick if you want a quarterback. And that's it. I mean, obviously, there's going to be more added to that. Maybe a first round next year, a third round this year, something along those lines. But starting talking points are your first round pick next year. I want some Packers picks. I want to buy into that stock. I don't think that they're going to be that good next year. So I think that if you can get a deal done with the Packers that, again, like I said, includes a pick next year, you're sitting pretty. You're sitting very, very pretty. Again, you sit in a situation where you'll have 2 picks next year in the first round, one of them possibly being another top 10 pick. It would just be lovely. Maybe it's a dream scenario, but I think it could possibly happen. Now, the last team that I'm going to talk about is kind of, it's not a quarterback needy team. And realistically, I don't know what they would move up for. Maybe a cornerback, maybe a wide receiver, maybe a safety. There's some things that they can move, maybe an offensive lineman, but it's the Steelers. Obviously, the Steelers, they got a guy that maybe they feel comfortable with last year at their quarterback position. They got a pretty good wide receiver last year in the second round as well. So they have a decent team, but could they be looking to add to that? They sit at number 17, not a terrible pick by any means, but that could be a little less valuable of a trade as far as moving that far back. You're probably not going to get the assets that you would for a team that wants a quarterback. So maybe if it's Peter Skoronski falls. Maybe they really high on Quentin Johnson. He falls. Maybe they're very, very high on one of these, defensive backs and they fall and they're like, listen, we'll come all the way up. We'll give you this. We'll give you that. You can probably take a first out of them. You can probably take a mid-round pick or 2 out of this draft out of them if they want to move from 17 to 10. So I would be open to that, you know what I'm saying? But I said it last for a reason. I would be 100% open to it. We can talk, but I don't know if that's your best option. Now, going into this draft, the best case scenario is that a quarterback drops. We all know this, right? If a quarterback drops, the Eagles are sitting in a very, very good spot to go ahead and trade back and get a lot of value. So I want to know what you guys are thinking. What are some teams you're looking for to go ahead and trade with the Philadelphia Eagles? Do you want to just sit at 10? I mean, there's a lot of people that just want to sit at 10, pick at 10, and that's perfectly fine too. Let me know what you're thinking in the comments. But other than that, y'all know what it is. Y'all know what it's gonna be. Man, it's Fly Eagles Fly. And we are out here. Peace, guys. Have a great one. I hope you have a great day.
Eagles fans everywhere. This is for you.
Yeah. Fly Eagles flying on the team. Touchdown. Time to get Jalen this ring. You don't really want to start a thing. This a Bird Gang Nation, baby. It's a Philly thing. Hater, and you looking like you type trash. I'm just here calling on Philly the podcast. And we can call a man dog or watch Miles score off the handoff. Rest of the division, your man soft. Jackson like Sean, hunting like Randolph. Season head, early time to do him in. Your boy Philly Fresco. Thanks for tuning in.